Okay, so in this video, we're going to talk about Tracer from Overwatch and Atlas from Paladin, and the similarity they have and differences. Obviously, the first thing is that Tracer and Atlas control time, but Atlas can control time much more than Tracer. For example, Tracer can do is repeat time forward, backward, and it's almost like a teleport. And Atlas, he used his weapon in you can use his weapon in different way. He has different talent. So one ability he have, he can use a kind of energy ball, and that ball will make the enemy rewind in time. So, for example, if the enemy have full life and you damage the enemy, then you can repeat it. So you come back to less life again. So that is the biggest differences. That Tracer can only control herself, her time, but Atlas can control him, and he can control his enemies when with his ability. So that is the biggest differences with Tracer and Atlas. That one of them have much more limit of control than the other. And the other thing is obviously that you can use Atlas a much more different way than you can use Tracer. You can only use Tracer in one way when you play her, because in Overwatch, the character you play is the character you have. You cannot change them. You cannot change their talents. You can only have one talent in Overwatch, and that is the hero you play. Um, and so that in Paladin you have more abilities, because you can change your champion in three different ways. You have three different talents to make them a bit different from each other. So yeah, so I said before, Tracer's ability is control time, but she can only control time for herself. She cannot control time. She cannot rewind the time for the enemy, or she cannot this kind of thing. And Atlas can do this kind of thing. So Atlas have three ability. One ability he can control kind of energy wall that makes their enemies enemy the enemy wall. Yeah. So, yeah, she has ability that she can control yeah. So he controlled the enemy and himself with time, and so they have the only similarity ability Tracer Atlas have is one of Atlas ability when he rewind himself in time, similar to Tracer's rewind in time. That is the only similarity ability they have. The only in because that is the only thing that then obviously the other thing is they have because this is only similar. The rest of them is totally different from each other. Um, so yeah, so you have much more ability to change the character and so on, and you with time with Trace and Atlas, and obviously also what kind of animation they have, and animation, what kind of the tactic they use, and this kind of thing. With Tracer use two pistol, and Atlas use one kind of shotgun, like machine shotgun, and yeah, so I think what do I want to say? Okay, I think it's very. Uh, I think it's yeah. I think it's they have obviously the time is similar in that sense, the control times as before, but we have it's much more. It's obviously because you have, for example, a very simple way to describe it is that in Paladin you have a champion, and the champion is you can make you have the skin for the champion, but it's you that create that champion when you play that champion. For example, that is the biggest difference of them all from Overwatch, is that you can create your own champion the way how you want them to play in 3 different ways for each champion you play. In Overwatch, the hero you play is the hero you play. You cannot change the hero. You can only have one tracer. You can only use one Jackrat. So in Paladin is more complex in that sense. You have more abilities for each character than in Overwatch. So in that sense, is Paladin for me personally more interesting. If you can change them in more different ways. But you can also find obviously similarities with some ability for some characters. For example, you have Jackrat have some similarities with Bomb King, but they at the same time also have similarities with the pirate in Paladin. So obviously they take different abilities from each character and change them to other characters in Paladin. So make them, for example, so you can find some abilities you find in one character in Overwatch, you can find in different characters in Paladin, and that's actually a big reason why in Paladin hör dumma katt. Yeah. For example, there is the biggest reason why you have so many. You have much more character in Paladin than you have in Overwatch, because they have split up the abilities for each champion in Paladin. So you can, for example, so you can maybe have one character maybe have 3-4 different abilities from each of the character you have in Overwatch, but you obviously change the animation a bit, and that makes it more make it a bit different. But because they are different characters, and they have different kind of, they one healer, frontliner, attacker, and so on, and that makes it more different. So there is a reason why you can see, for example, as I said before, one similarity with Tracer, with she rewind time backward, but that is the only thing that is similar with the time attacks with Atlas, because Atlas can rewind time for himself and for his friends and for his enemies. For example, if the enemy originally have very little life left, but then go heal himself, then you can rewind back to that and then kill the enemy much more quicker than before, and so on. The other thing is also that makes it very different with Overwatch and Paladin, is when you play in the game. For example, in Overwatch you can heal yourself when you find some kind of healing box in the game. In Paladin you just have to wait, hide yourself some kind of minutes, seconds, then you heal yourself, and that makes it so that it's less in Paladin is less need for healers in Paladin, because everybody can heal themselves wherever they are. They have not have to go to some special. They don't have to go to a special place in the game to find a box to heal themselves. So everybody is much more independent in Paladin because they can heal themselves, and there is a reason why. There's also because of the card system and the talent system, that some of the healers, for example, Pip, can be more like a damage champion than a healer that his original should be original meant to be in the game. So yeah, yes,
And so it begins.
yeah. So that is actually the hugest differences with them. Is that one of them you have to be a healer. If you're a healer, you have to help your teammate. That is your job. You have to do it. So there is a reason I think is if you are a healer in Overwatch, you have to be a very good player because you have to be good to kill the enemy and at the same time good to heal your allies. And that is a bit complicated because then everybody gonna focusing on you because they don't want your side to be healed. They want that is I think the scary thing with to be a healer in Overwatch because you have to always be watch your back. What if the enemy is behind you? In Paladin you don't have to worry about that because everybody can heal themselves in the game and everybody can be a healer and a damage in the same time. And so there's more it's more freedom in Overwatch. More freedom in Paladin in that sense. But obviously that is just the game mode. But I don't gonna talk about the graphic because obviously because if you have to pay for a game with real money, graphics should always be superb to compare to a game that is free. So that is not to say Overwatch is better than Paladin, but just because Paladin Overwatch has much more money to put into a bigger company, so you have to only focusing on the system in the game, like how you play the game. That is the only fair thing you can do. Compare the game. You cannot compare the game with graphic, this kind of thing, because you should be better graphic in Overwatch because you spend money for it and this kind of thing. And I think that's probably everything really what I really want to say. But I think that the biggest difference is, if you have only play Overwatch, I strongly recommend you to play Paladin too, because you're gonna find lots of differences in the game and similarities obviously, but to make it very fun. For example, if you like more like a fantasy theme to the game, obviously you should play Paladin. If you like more science fiction, sci-fi feel to the game, Overwatch obviously, and so on. And that is everything I really want to say. Hope you like it. Okay, bye.
Good night.
Double kill.
These are nothing.
Getting sloppy. Enemy killing spree. Defeat. Select a champion.
Atlas.
Customize your champion.
The end is nigh. The evils of this world must be judged.
The battle is about to begin.